This is Henry Frederick of Headline Surfing. I'm here in the wake of the MLK festivities with Melvin Brown Sr. Melvin, you're an activist in the community.
Yes, I am.
Very much involved in what's happening.
Very much.
Your impressions of today's, very quickly, your impressions of today.
My impression of the day, the speech was great, but I wish that some of the ministers on the Westside lived up to what they were speaking about.
Let me ask you a question. This is kind of a tough time in the last few months, especially in the wake of the KKK flyers that were dropped on the Westside in the African American neighborhood, which some people believe, including myself, were deliberate, not unintentional, but very intentional. What's your stake? What's your feeling on that?
My thing is, I think that they were delivered as maybe a scare tactic, but to say that, and it was, I believe it was deliberate, you know.
Now let me understand something clearly. Earlier last year, the city of New Smyrna Beach, after the North Causeway affluent community was complaining about wanting more of a say-so in the way things operate, a neighborhood watch council was established citywide. The only community not included, the West Side. What does that tell you?
Well, it tells me that our government, our city government here has still a long ways to go in giving equal opportunities to the African American citizens. I applied for that board, and I was turned down. For the reason was because I'm already a member of the CDBG board. But they say it is represented, but it is represented by a Caucasian, a white person, and they cannot speak on the issues of the historical West Side community, which is predominantly black.
I notice also that the loop signs end at the entranceway to the West Side. They're all up and down 3rd Avenue, Canal, Flagler. But as soon as you get into the West Side, you don't see any more loop signs. Even though they say that the historic West Side is in the loop.
The city of New Smyrna Beach still has yet to really recognize the historical black West Side as a part of New Smyrna Beach.
Melvin, let's be real about this. In the last 6 years, under the administration of Mayor Adam Barringer and City Manager Pam Brangaccio, upwards of $2 million in CRA funding, primarily for bars and restaurants that cater to the drinking, the street festivals on Flagler, and to some extent moving into the canal area. Has there really been anything done for the West Side?
Being serious, not that much. Not what should have been done. I feel that we're only getting the bones, the scraps from what they have left over.
How hypocritical is it to you, and I know you've been very outspoken, you're one of the few people that's not afraid to speak his mind, where the mayor is out there today bringing his commissioners up on stage, take a bow pretty much, and they were nowhere to be found when the KKK flyers were dropped, despite intense media, at least at this media's efforts to try to get them to stand tall for their community, including the West Side.
I feel that, you know, their presence should have been more shown, not just for that occasion, but for all occasions.
Now, Melvin, you're a man who's had a very tough life. It's well chronicled. You have, one son who's in prison for murder? 2 sons in prison for murder?
No, 1 son in prison for murder, another son in prison for drugs.
How long are the sentences? I know the murder conviction of Melvin Brown Jr.
The third, Melvin Brown III.
Melvin Brown III, rather, is a life sentence.
A life sentence.
What about your other son?
My other son had 20 years.
And what is his name?
Delbert Gerard Martin.
And is he still in prison?
He's still in prison.
And how old is he?
He is 31, I believe.
Let me ask you a question. As a man who's done his best to raise his family. Should you be should you be sort of like diminished in any way because of your family's issues with drugs and your children's problems?
No.
Does it take away your concerns for the community, your love of the community?
No, it doesn't take away my love of the community, and I feel that it gives me a greater to fight more for the rights of young people here in New Smyrna, because here in New Smyrna, young people really don't have anything to keep them from really getting in trouble.
Melvin, one last round of questions here. The mayor, of course, is a member of the all-white, all-male Anglers Club, established, ironically, in 1913, 100 years ago, 101 years ago now. Was 100 years with the KKK flyers back in November. And here he's nowhere to be found, and yet today he's up there big joking, giving speeches, bringing up his posse of city commissioners, none of whom was willing to talk on the record or even return calls during that ugly episode. What does that tell you? Does today really mean anything in that regard?
As I said before, our city officials here in New Smyrna Beach still have a long way to go in regards to representing or either helping out the Westside, historical Westside, as far as him belonging to the yacht club, is it? Anglers Club. This is America, okay?
Well, look at it this way.
Freedom to belong to anything he want to belong to.
Well, look at it.
In a position that he's in, he need to be more diverse and more just to, I can't.
Well, let me just kind of put it in perspective for you. The Anglers Club has a decades-old lease for $25 a year for exclusive rights to prime acreage on the waterfront next to the New Smyrna Beach marina for 42 large boat slips, a clubhouse. It's basically their property to do what they want. And there are people here in New Smyrna Beach who, like yourself, who probably weren't even able to go to the beach in New Smyrna back in the day, right?
Well, back in the day, we had our own beach.
The segregated beach.
Segregated beach of Bethune Beach. And that was it. We couldn't go to the...
Kind of ironic today that it's lined with $1 million homes.
Yeah. And now that Bethune Beach is prime land or whatever for whites. I mean, we had people of color, African American, that owned property over there on Bethune, but now it's all gone.
Well, for Melvin Brown Sr., a man who's had a difficult life, but who's continuing to speak up for the families, especially the poorer families of the Westside and New Smyrna Beach as a whole. I thank you for your time. This is Henry Frederick of Headline Surfer, here at the conclusion of the 2014 Martin Luther King Jr. festivities. God bless you.
God bless you.